Let's go out to Baltimore, home of The Wire, and talk to the great Melissa. What's up, Melissa?
Hey, Dr. John. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's an honor to get to talk to you today.
Well, thank you for calling. How can I help?
So I guess I'm going to cannonball in, start off saying something that I've never said out loud, and I guess I'll say it out loud to all 18 listeners.
Okay, I'm going to stop you before you do it, okay? This is kind of my rule of thumb. When anybody says, I've never said this before, I always want to stop them and make sure I'm the right guy.
Okay.
Am I the right guy?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
If you're doing anything illegal, I still have to hold you accountable for that. Is that cool?
That's cool. Nothing illegal.
Okay. All right. So if you're totally comfortable, and for everybody listening, anytime somebody says, I've never told anybody this, but I need to tell you something, stop. Because if they tell you something, you might have to act on it, okay? So, Melissa, I'm trusting you, and I promise I'll sit with you. Go for it.
I have been abusing pain medication for over 4 years now, prescription pain medication. I had a previous problem with it in my 20s. I ended up going to treatment. I was clean for 5 years. And then about 10 years ago, I was in a car accident and injured my spine pretty bad. Ended up having to have spinal surgery. And have been in pain management for about 4 years now. My husband and my family don't know that I'm taking opioid pain medication. I've never told them. I think because of the stigma of what happened, when I was in my 20s, when I didn't have legitimate pain. But I live with chronic pain every day of my life now. And I'm ashamed in a way, but at the same time, I feel justified a little bit. But I'm constantly beating myself up over it because I am constantly running out of my pain medication early. And everything is great until that point. I have energy. I do well at work. I participate in my life. I can concentrate on things. But then as soon as that prescription runs out, everything comes crashing down. And it's like I just crawl into a black hole for, as long as it is until the next time, I am able to get my prescription refilled.
Okay. Can I tell you a few things that are hard?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that out loud. I'm really proud of you. I would hug you if you were sitting here, and I probably wouldn't say anything for the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'd just sit here with you.
Thank you.
How did that feel saying that out loud?
Out of body kind of experience.
Yeah. You'll probably feel some instant relief, and then the shame waters will slowly start circulating back through, and a little bit to fill up that space. I want you to know I'm proud of you, okay? For saying that out loud. Here's some hard truths that but it's just gotten a little bit hazy. Your family knows. They may not know exactly what, but they know. And that idea that you can focus and everything is better and I become more of a laser, that's the addiction talking again.
Yeah.
Because it's not right. Because I promise you, your colleagues are like, man, what is up? I promise you. And so there's this moment. What made you say I've got to say this out loud? I've got to do something different. Something happened?
Nothing happened. I just feel like I've been doing this dance for a while where, I find the gift of desperation to stop, and then I just don't have, the willpower. And then I think of like the fact that I do have legitimate chronic pain, but I need help with holding myself accountable, because obviously I'm not doing it.
Well, and you can have chronic pain that's managed in different ways than just throwing opioids at it, right? All right, so let's walk through this together. You call a meeting tonight with your husband and you take him out and you say, I have to have a hard conversation with you. And you say, I've been using for 4 years and we both know that I've got these prescriptions, but I'm burning through the prescriptions. I'm even getting some other ones from another doctor, from friends. I've reached a point where I can't control this. What happens then next?
I fear that he would never look at me the same way again, because I think it's not so much the using, but the lying and the hiding things and the betrayal that I think would really hit him harder than anything else. And I'm just terrified that if I have that conversation, that he would never look at me the same way again, and that it might end up ruining our marriage.
What's the chances he reaches over, gets up from where he is, and comes and hugs you and holds you so tight you can't hardly breathe?
I honestly don't see that happening.
Okay. What if you told him, I'm going to tell you something, and when it's over, it's going to be hard for you, but I need you to get up and come over and sit by me and just hug me and not say anything for a minute. And if you told him, I'm embarrassed about the lies, I'm embarrassed about the shame, but I'm sick, and we've been through this before, and I got to go through it again. I think it's probably writing all that stuff down and reading that out in some shape, form, or fashion. But one of the most common things I hear on the front end of somebody coming clean is, I'm afraid everybody's going to do X, Y, and Z. And it just doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes, people react poorly, or they make it about them and all that.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't. And let me tell you this. You know me, if you listen to this show, I'm always, dude, I want to go to the ends of the earth to try to save marriages, because I think marriage is a beautiful thing. But I'd rather y'all go separate ways than you die. And you know how this ends. And you got little ones too, right?
I don't actually.
No kids? Okay,
we don't.
Good.
Yeah, okay. No kids, and not planning on kids.
Okay.
Just us.
When you use before the pain, what were you duct taping over?
Just general anxiety, social anxiety, just feeling, I don't know, a lack of self-confidence. There wasn't any major event, any trigger. I didn't have, any trauma in my childhood. I legitimately had a very good childhood, and I have 2 loving parents who, would do absolutely anything for me.
How's your marriage?
I think it just, my marriage.
All right, let me say something really harsh, okay?
Yeah.
I question how strong the binding is in your marriage if you think you come to him in a moment of illness and he bails. Either that's the addiction talking, or your marriage is not a secure bond. It's not a secure attachment.
I think it's more of the addiction talking, because when I'm not having this kind of conversation and I just kind of think about it, he's always told me, that he's in for the long haul. He's never going to leave me. He believes in just marriage as an institution. And I just I don't think that he would actually leave. I think what I'm more afraid of is, like I said, him just never looking at me the same way again and just going through the motions and me not being able to.
So don't dress rehearse tragedy.
Things.
You're dress rehearsing tragedy. Don't invent problems that haven't happened yet and try to solve them in the present.
Yeah.
Give him an opportunity to step up and give him a roadmap to what that looks like. Here's the truth. You've been through this before.
Mm-hmm.
Getting off this is brutal.
Yeah.
Going to AA again, which you got to do, is brutal.
Yeah.
Going through this process will be very difficult, and you're worth every second of it. Have you listened to, if you haven't already, I would love for you to go listen to Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard and his co-host Monica. And the episode is called Day 7.
Okay.
And his claim to fame was 15 years sobriety. Yeah. And he was a mentor for countless people. He was a sponsor for countless people. Then he had an accident. And he had to reckon with starting over because he used again and started hiding it. And it's one of the most beautiful, heartbreaking, hard, but truly extraordinary pictures of what this actually looks like.
Yeah, that all sounds too familiar.
I want you to listen to the episode because his friend Monica holds him accountable, and she says, "I love you" in the same conversation. And there's ownership, and there's accountability, and there's heartbreak, and there's shame, and there's forgiveness, and the whole thing. It's a beautiful picture of it in real time, but it really applies here. But I want you to remember two important things. Number one, secrets will kill you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so you got to have this conversation sooner rather than later. The second thing is you're worth being well and you're worth being sober. Will you commit to having this conversation with him?
Yeah, I will. I have to. I know I have to.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
So I want you to listen to that episode, Day 7. We'll see if we can find it and link it in the show notes. It's been a year or two since it came out. And feel free to give me a call. Feel free to have him give me a call on the back end after you have this conversation, okay? You can both call into the show, talk to you both at the same time. I want you, when you sit down with him, to already have a plan, like I'm going to a meeting in the morning. I don't want it to just be an open-ended thing where he's kind of off, untethered all of a sudden. And also, like I said, give him a path back. Tell him, I know I'm so full of shame right now, I can hardly keep my eyes open. I just need to know that you love me and will you hug me?
Yeah.
And tomorrow when we wake up, I would love it if you made breakfast and I'd love it if you drove me down to my meeting. Or I'd love it if we had coffee together and we didn't talk about it. And then I'm going to go to the meeting and you ask me about how the meeting went.
I'm actually going to a meeting tonight.
Good for you. So maybe after the meeting, you tell them. And maybe after you get a sponsor tonight, you have to get somebody's number tonight. You got somebody you can call after the meeting. Because the meeting might be hard. It might go awful.
Yeah.
But it has to happen, right?
It does. Because, I know, like you said, I know how this ends.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen to too many of my friends over the years.
That's right. But on the other side of it, I've got some friends who are sober and their families are incredible and they laugh a lot and they're silly and funny and they have good marriages and they've got good jobs. So there's light on the other side too. And make no mistake, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Opioids are a demon, man. They will hang on your soul. They're tough. They're tough. There's biochemical reasons for it. They're tough. Got to have a group of people go with you. But you're worth being well, my sister. I'm so, so proud of you. Call anytime. Have your husband call anytime. Y'all call together. I'll walk with you as long as you'll have me. But let me know how this conversation goes. Let me know how tonight's meeting goes. I'm so proud of you.